All right. Um, this is a bit of a follow-on. I got a whole bunch of odds and sods in here, but it's a little bit of a follow-on from the Donnie Darko Decode on the 2888 187 stuff, and that number jump that took us through to 49. And there's also a little. I got a little bit of stuff to do with Back to the Future in here as well. It's just tied in with a little personal synchronicity. But we're going to go to Ipet Go and look at the scene with the skeleton in Ipet Go, okay? And note that Donnie Darko wears the skeleton outfit. I can't remember what channel I saw that on ages ago. It's been donkey's years ago, I'm sure, but somebody had mentioned the skeleton outfit and the skeleton in Ipet Go. But there is another tie-in with this skeleton outfit and the skeleton and Ipet Goat, and that's what we're just gonna go for all the little connections with it all. Okay, so we're gonna do a bit of a decode there. I want to hit my little personal synchronism up. Now where's my, hang on a minute, where the hell have I got it? I want to show you this, right? So that I've got a little personal synchronicity, right? 3 weeks ago now, my daughter set the incubator going, put a bunch of chicken eggs in there because we were getting tons of eggs, and what do you do with a million eggs? So we thought we'd hatch some. Anyway, we filled the thing up. I don't know what it holds, somewhere in the region of 40 some eggs or something like that. And it might actually be more, that might be up to 50, I don't know. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of eggs in there. We had one hatch. I believe it hatched. It was either on the 21st or the 22nd, just past. Okay, so March the 21st or the 22nd, we had one chick hatch. Then we had a couple other ones that tried to hatch that died. So out of all that 50 odd eggs, we've had one that's hatched and is in its little pen by itself. Okay, one chick, and then we've had 3 that have died as well. Okay, and then the rest of them, I don't even know if there was anything growing in them or not, or whether they're just all weren't fertile eggs or what. But anyway, quite a little story, because I just thought about it and I'm like, we've got one chick. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, one chick, Ciccone. Madonna's surname is Ciccone. We've got one chick. It's the chick one. Okay, I said to my other daughter, I said, we'll name that one Madonna. But anyway, it brings me onto this connection with 114. And the reason why I also want to bring this up, so apart from that little personal synchronicity, was Ken, where is this? I've got this comment up here. Ken mentioned about 411 possible rapture date. We've talked about 411, before, with the connections in Back to the Future, and then obviously it's just every bloody Kubrick film has 411 in it, or 114, the CRM 114. So there's tons of references to 114. Anyway, I will show you in the chart of Lorraine in a minute the connection with 114 or 411. Anyway, I just thought this was this morning. It was pretty early, so of course I couldn't do a video on it then. But anyway, he mentions about this, and I said, yeah, this is a really interesting date. And I said, because I'd just done the Back to the Future one, where the 911 with the fire trail, you can also get the 9-4, okay, in the fire trail. That's kind of an old decode of mine, but I said to him, you can also get, with just the fire trail only, you can get the 11-4 in that fire trail, just using the 2 trails as the 11, and then the number 4 as the camera pans down. So if you know what I'm talking about, that's where Marty takes the leap home with the lightning bolt. Okay. So anyway, I thought that was just worth mentioning. Okay. It's just another one of them things, just another little extra bit of information to be aware of. Okay. Anyway, and again, that was this morning. I haven't had time to really do a video on that and show anything on that, and I probably won't get around to doing it. But the reason why I bring that up is because of this connection with Madonna Ciccone, with the 114. Okay. I got a couple other things in here. While we're here, we'll just look at Skeleton 101. Remember that actually Donnie Darko starts, I believe it starts on the 1st of October. They don't show that date, but the first date they show is the 2nd. But they actually start the film before they show, the date. When they show the 2nd, they show the 12 o'clock hour on a clock before Donnie Darko goes and gets his numbers from Frank. So the actual film, I believe, starts on the 1st of October, room 101. Okay, this is after the Hoover Dam, 9:30. Yeah, the 30th of September. This is the first day in room 101 inside the dam. Okay, ground zero. Right, and I've got wedding ring here as well as 114 because there's an important wedding ring in the scene that we're going to go to that also encodes 1-4 and some other stuff back with Madonna. Let's see. So this outfit translates into, and while we're on that, this is the outfit that he's wearing at the end. Yeah. There's also the fireworks that go off as there's this sort of replay screen of everything. Okay, so this connects back in, like we've talked about this one before as well, but this is a couple of little references here. Okay, so let's go to Ipet Go. Where the hell has that gone? You can see all the tabs that we've got to go through here, right next to it. Come on. So you can see we've got the skeleton outfit, the fireworks going off in the background here. If I just back up a second or two, okay, right before, you're going to see what he actually does. Reaches out to grab, this is Tank Girl, that's what I'm going to call her. We'll go back and see the rest of this scene just before this in a second. It's interesting with the tiger on the back of the jacket here, because Madonna does wear, there's a couple of references with Madonna and Boy Toy and stuff written on the back of her jacket, and also in Desperately Seeking Susan, she has a jacket with a picture on it, which is the Eye of Providence off the dollar bill. Yeah, they've probably seen that one before. And then she has Boy Toy in Borderline. And we were just talking about the Borderline 4-9 being the borderline. Well, the tiger, it's not one of these, what would you call that, a Bengali tiger? I don't know what that is. Right, but anyway, it's not one of these Tony tigers, right? It's a mountain lion type, cougar type tiger that is in Who's That Girl. But it's just interesting that, I guess if you were to put like a cougar on the back of there, people might not get the reference as being a tiger. I don't know, but anyway, the tiger, they refer to the I don't think, do they refer to it as a lion, or I think they refer to it as a tiger in the film. Okay, anyway, regardless, look at the arm that's put out here to come and turn this Tank Girl around. Okay, and so if you were Donnie Darko, you would write the 28, okay, all of that jazz on the side of the arm there, right? Which adds up to what? 88. Okay, so when we put all the numbers there, this is adding up to 88, right? Okay. If we move on, what is happening is as she turns there, we've got that reference to 88 on the arm, and then what's going off? Yeah, fireworks. And when do fireworks typically go off? New Year. So New Year, we have our 88 on the arm here, and New Year is taking us back to the 4th of October with this. So we have this scene here, if it is referencing Donnie Darko, gives us the 88 day jump kind of in reverse, so we know where to come with our 187 jump. Does that make sense? So having the 88 day jump on the arm along with the 187 day jump, right? We can take that jump back, get to New Year here, because we know, and so we know with the New Year reference that this 88 days, we're going to go 88 days back, and that is, yeah, 10:04, right? So we can get to our clock tower date, which is the 4th of October. And then when we do our 187 day jump from that point on, it takes us to 49. Okay? Now this is, I mean, we're going to be here for a little while with this, because there's actually a lot more deeper stuff going on, I think, with this. But that's the kind of the little bit of Donnie Darko right there. Now I want to show you a couple of other little bits that are in here. What was I thinking? Oh, one thing with Donnie Darko as well. This is going to be a stretch for people, but if you look at the head here, the shape of the skull, it kind of reminded me of a jet engine, you know. And on the jet engine in Donnie Darko, there is actually this little spirally thing right at the center of the turbine. Okay, so I know that's a little bit of a stretch for people, but it kind of reminded me of the shape of a, you know, if this is the end where the hat is, where the air goes in, and then this is the end where the air comes out, or thrust comes out. That's the shape of a jet engine. And even though it's not quite in the right spot, this little whirligig here, if you look at the jet engine in Donnie Darko, it's got a little whirligig right at the center of the turbine fan blade, whatever the first fan blade is on a jet engine called, but that's sitting right at the center. Anyway, let's carry on, let's crack on with this. So already Donnie Darko stuff, right? And we got some stuff with this particular scene with the tank as well. So just before this, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to go straight into Tank Girl right now, and I'm not really going to show that much of it. But let's do this other reference real quick first, because there's a little ring here. I don't know if you can make that out, but there's also a diamond ring here. What's this thing? Come on, this thing's having a meltdown, I'll tell you, which is quite appropriate for what we're going to be talking about in a minute. So we got this diamond ring, and actually at some point it actually glints a couple of times as well. But the diamond ring, again, this is going to tie in with our next bit of Decode as well, to the Guy Ritchie film Snatch. But this is the diamond ring, which is typically the female ring, and the diamond ring is typically a wedding ring as well. Okay, so we have wedding ring. Notice we had wedding ring on our, whatever it was a 114 as well. And the point of the wedding ring is everything that we've been talking about up to this point. The large majority of stuff has had some kind of tie back in with Princess Diana. Okay, so this is the diamond, the diamoon, okay, the diamond, okay, so the diamond, Diana the moon, okay, Diana the moon, okay, and we can just change that to diamond, okay. So Diana the moon is a direct reference to our date. Now I know I've put this in old videos, but the problem is I keep forgetting to bring all the stuff forward from like last year or several months ago, so it's difficult to remember all this, you know, the stuff that I've already covered. But Diana, also, you know, known as Princess Di, okay, Princess Di, and from that just the simple name. Again, the simple stuff's the good stuff. From Princess Di. Yeah, we changed those words to letters. Those letters to numbers, right? 49. Okay, there's our 49. The other way around, we got ID as well. ID is, pretty interesting idea as well. But 49 with Princess Di, and it's this again in the ring format, the wedding ring. This is what we've been doing. We've had a ton of 729 references. This is the white wedding. In fact, in this, I'm going to mention something about Billy Idol as well in here with the white wedding as well. Okay, because there's something on this dude's head that we're going to look at. So it's just absolutely crazy, right? Let's get off of this. Let's do another element to this whole decode here. So that one, good. I haven't forgotten that. Okay, I've got. Let's go back to this image of him before we do the tank girl stuff, because we'll probably do the tank girl more towards the end. Where the hell? Come on, dude. This is painful, I know. Sorry. Want to look at his face very quickly, because people like to pick stuff out of the sort of swirls and all the rest of it here. Well, there is something that I like in this one, and I don't know if anybody's picked this out before. I'm sure they have. But this on the cheek here, we have the pi symbol, okay, in there. Okay, that's the first thing to note. So if you can just see that. But there's also something else in here, and I believe what that is this. I believe that is pi and lambda, okay, joined together, the Greek letter lambda. Now, what is interesting about these two things, both pi and, if I could write it, lambda, are both in the dollar bill. They are both folds in the dollar bill. Now, with pi, what you end up getting is you get the word pi in the dollar bill. And you also get a date, which is 11/10, which is the 314th day of the year. So if you've ever seen my decodes on that fold, that's a really interesting fold, okay? A similar fold, it is actually a similar fold. It's to do with bringing the two sides of the dollar bill together again. Lambda is also a fold that occurs, what would I say? It's just in the dollar bill. If you've seen you just have to go back to the back catalogue and dig through and find the lambda fold. It's in there, okay, with the dollar bill. But lambda encodes this date. It encodes 1130. It's 11th letter of the Greek alphabet. Its numerical value is 30. Just for, if I can remember off the top of my head what pi is like. Pi, I think it's the 16th letter of the Greek alphabet, and I think it's 80. It's a 168 reference with pi, like Madonna. And notice that Madonna's in the dartboard. Pi is opposite. The numbers for pi are opposite 186. Sorry. So 186. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 80. And number 16 in the alphabet. So again, interesting stuff with Madonna. And this again is also Billy Idol's birthday. Okay, so I thought, well, I'm going to do that one through to see if there is some connection. So remember, pi is connected to 186. Shall I write it in here? 80 and 16. Okay, and so these two things are connected together in here. Could we be doing a jump to do, referencing back to the dollar bill, because obviously Billy Idol is spelling out the dollar bill, and don't forget our 49 date is actually hidden in the dollar bill as well. Okay, and if we do a number jump from the Great Scott date here, that's the date of the Great Scott, and we go through, hang on a minute, let's do this one first. We go from Billy Idol's birthday through to 4/9, it's 131 days, if everything inclusive on there. 131, the same as the train and Back to the Future, but what this is also the same as is this connection between Madonna and Christ. Okay, so Madonna's birthday through to Christmas is 131 as well. Okay, so you can see why that's kind of an important reference with Billy Idol, White Wedding, Mary and Christ together again. Okay, the rebirth, the birth of Christ, all these ideas. Yeah. What else? Get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of that. Hopefully we don't come back to need it, and that will help us not to get confused. Right. So now, still on the topic. So we've done the lambda stuff. Okay, this is the lambda. This is lambda. Okay, just in case you've not seen it. That my picture of it wasn't very good. Okay. So okay, we don't need that anymore, right? So we've done that. Get that out of the way. This is a bit more. Is this my way of being organized? Right. So now I want to also reference back to, oh yeah, Donnie Darko. Well, we'll come back onto the fireworks again in a second. So we've got Donnie Darko with the fireworks and his skeleton outfit. We've got the skeleton outfit, the fireworks. Now, a couple of other things, right? Let's get rid of all this crud now. We need to observe this hat here, okay, and observe the skeleton again, right? Now, Madonna has a song, come on, called Ghost Town. It's not very obvious right here, but she is wearing, and I don't have the video for it up, but she is wearing that top hat type thing, okay? See if this will bring it up better. You can't really see it. Oh well. I wonder what other pictures we've got in here. Nothing useful. What in the hell? There she is with it on. Okay. So you can kind of make that out in that picture. Right. So the top hat reference. Now, okay, you could say, well, Dan, there's tons of top hat references. Why are you just connecting that back with Madonna? Well, her song Ghost Town, again, is used in the, it's not used, Guy Ritchie's film Snatch. If you think about what the Snatch is the crude version, the crude name for the female, I guess. Okay, so you would I don't know, do you explain it? A man might refer to his piece of snatch, his other half, his piece of snatch. Okay, right. Okay, it's a crude term for the vagina. Okay. Anyway, what? So okay, so we've got Guy Ritchie does the film Snatch. In the film Snatch is a version, another song called Ghost Town, and it's by the Specials. Okay, so we have Madonna doing a Ghost Town, and then we have a song by the Specials called Ghost Town. Now I've left this up here so you can see, it's pretty obvious. Now you can start seeing, ooh, is there a skeleton reference here? The skeleton reference with Ghost Town and the Specials, right? So we're going to now start getting back into Kubrick stuff, because I think before we go on to the number jumps with the Specials, and there's one other song, and there's also a film with there's several other things with called Ghost Town. Anyway, there's also a Kanye West song called Ghost Town. Okay, and I'm telling you what, I've got another decode. I hope I can do it tonight. I've got another decode that kind of almost ties a little bit in with Kanye West as well. Anyway, so this ghost town reference, right? So the skeleton, the top hat. Get to the bloody point, Dan. Come on. Right. So I think this is a reference back to the song by the Specials. Okay, and I think that's what everybody's referencing back to. We've decoded the song by the Specials before. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff. There's 9/11 references in it, and what we're seeing right here is these guys are driving through a tunnel. So there's a definite tunnel reference, and the tunnel, I believe, is referencing back. Let me just play 1 second of this.
All the clubs.
So you see the lights on the ceiling of the tunnel reflecting. Now this gives the effect of this sequence in Space Odyssey, yeah, the Stargate sequence, yeah, when we have all this stuff going. Now, a way of doing that, if you're not going through a tunnel per se, is maybe to have this stuff going on in the background here, yeah. Okay, the inflatable tunnel here. Okay, okay. So this stuff going on in the background gives us this idea of these lights or going through a tunnel, okay, through the Stargate. That's what's going on here. At the start of it, we've decoded before, there's 9/11 references with the Twin Towers. There's just some towers that look like that in London. Right here we've got them coming through the tunnel. We've looked at this number plate before, it's 4218. So we've got the 218 in there, the 421 with the Queen and her tie-in with 9/11, you know, and so forth and so on. There, you can see it a bit better there. Okay. What else we got in here? Okay, so this references back to 9/11 and actually coming out of the system. Here we see right at the end of it, they're standing on the banks of the Thames. Obviously the Thames the tide is out at this point, which is referencing water flowing out. Okay, the deluge has occurred and everything's drained at this point. Okay. Anyway, also notice that the trumpets are kind of dominant in this song. Okay, so again with the last call, the 7 trumpets and all that stuff. All right, okay, you get the idea. Anyway, so we're going to do some number jumps now, right? So we can see if there's any other connections back with all this stuff with the Specials and everything. And there's one huge connection, which we'll get onto in just a second. But this is the Kanye West release of his to Madonna's one, which is a 313, which is actually going to be, again, the next video I do, we're going to have 313 popping up with one of the people in that. This is actually a personal reference for me as well. But look at the numbers between these the two Ghost Town songs, Kanye's and Madonna's. 1177. Absolutely nuts. Now, why? Because Diana's birthday, we've got the wedding ring right there with the diamond on it, the die another day, the die, the 49, and we've got 17, her birthday. Okay. And this is to do with the I think it's gate, temple, gematria, 17, and to do with the mirror, the 7. Okay. Right, what else we got? We need to do a number jump between. Okay, so this is what caught my eye, right? From the Specials song through to 331 this year, it is 16363. And when I saw that, if you've been following the channel and you've been, following closely, I should say, you'll know what this is. Okay, this number here, this is absolutely crazy. This number is our golden ratio number that references 1118. Okay, it's basically 18 divided by 11, which comes out to, if you was to put the decimal place in there and put a couple of little dots on top for reoccurring, that's what that is. It's an approximation, because this is in the Lucas number sequence. Okay, you can take one number in the sequence and divide it by the previous number, and what that will give you is it will give you an approximation for pi. The further through the sequence you go, the closer to pi. Will give you an approximation to phi. Okay, PHI. Okay, the golden ratio number. Okay, 1.618,033 yada yada yada. Okay, so this is just an approximation of that because we're early in the sequence here, right? Anyway, that's the number it gives you. It gives you 1.63636363. This number is encoded in the previous portion with the Black Madonna and the Eli Manning stuff. That number is encoded in that previous portion of Ipet Goat as well. Okay, so to see the specials reference with this, and don't forget also the product of Diana and Charlie Boy, Dick. Oh dear, Dan. Was Will. Okay, another Willie, right? So we had, that's the product of that marriage. Okay, and he will be, I'm pretty sure, 49. I think it was 49. 2027. He will be that old. Okay, Will be that old on a 49 date next year. So it's very interesting indeed. Okay. Anyway, I don't know. Without spending hours just re-explaining everything we've gone through for the past several months, I mean, it's just, anyway. So that number there, absolutely crazy, I thought. And to come out on this date. Now, what's so special about this date is that Madonna is 24700 days old on the 31st. Now, we talked about train spotting, and Ewan McGregor, who is in train spotting, and coincidentally, in Snatch, there is a train spotting scene with Vinnie Jones, okay, where he has Spud from train spotting in his car window, and there is also a scene later on with Vinnie Jones where the specials version of Ghost Town is playing. And I'll show you that as well because there's a 4-9 reference with that as well. But Ewan McGregor, this is Ewan McGregor's 55th birthday, okay, and there was some other tie-ins with this date to do with train spotting. And of course, at this point here, we're dealing with a tank in GoldenEye. Let me explain. So, I've got the scene for GoldenEye up here somewhere. Surely, Dan, come on, here it is. Here is the tank in GoldenEye. Okay, and that tank is at the edge of a tunnel. Okay, so let me just remind you, we're talking about, we just had the specials there driving down a tunnel for half of their, got all that lot to do in a minute. Where is it? Got stuff from the other day up here still. This is the tunnel with the tank in it. Yeah, 247. Madonna's going to be 24700 days on the 31st, and she's train spotting, okay, with Ewan McGregor on that day. Now, what is fascinating is this thing is just pointed. There's the railroad track. This is pointed at a train coming towards it right now. This is the tunnel reference. This is why I wonder if Madonna don't die in a tunnel on the 31st and it carries on with Madonna till 4/4, till Black Sabbath Day, okay, maybe we'll see just a straight tunnel reference on the 31st, and the person I think about with the tunnel reference is Elon Musk, and his connection to his boring company. Okay, but anyway, so we are looking for, on the 31st, a reference to Madonna either dying, connection with Madonna in a tunnel, or just a tunnel event. Okay, and it's 247, right? And in the film, we have this tank coming along. Where the hell's the bloody hell, Dan? It's only 4 tabs, mate. What the hell have I done with the film? Right before this scene, we have this chick, the Madonna chick. Again, she's waving down the tanks, okay, that are coming along. And note that they're also in this kind of valley thing that's almost like a tunnel. And they have this round light here as well, like the end of a tunnel. So without actually being in the tunnel, they're kind of referencing, I know that would be a stretch for some people. Let's back it up just a little bit so you can see it. That canyon there, well, you can't really see it. Somewhere in here you can see it a little bit better. These sort of rib cage things come up around more. So in the belly of the beast, which is re-referenced again later on with Christ there. Anyway, so this idea of the tunnel, right, and I've got my thought process here. Let's show you. So this is Tank Girl. So we've got the tank and the train standoff here. Don't forget Madonna matches up with her gematria and train. So if that was Madonna with the train coming down through here, and also this, I did think about this, but in the what the hell is that? What is that children's book? Is it the Railway Children, where they take off their underwear and wave it around to stop the train? I don't know the story. I can't remember it, but I'm sure it's like a classic English one. The Railway Children, whatever it is. I'm sure they don't they do that. They wave down that. Anyway, this would be interesting because this is, if Madonna, if this is what this could be partially a reference to, again with the railway connection and Madonna and train matching up with gematria, waving that tank down, and the tank in the end of the tunnel here, and look where the light is, okay, and these two things are going to collide, okay, and that collision, by the way, is a reference to 4-4 in GoldenEye, okay, which is also a reference to Easter, okay. I don't know how to explain it, but without going back through every last little detail. But anyway, let's just show you this, because this is one we've done before with like Madonna's not actually in this film, okay, but this is Tank Girl, and it's actually Laurie Petty that's in the film, and her birthday, she's on a 10/14 birthday, like Charlie Kirk, and like Madonna's daughter, Lourdes Leone, is also born on a 10/14, and Madonna, I want to say she started her celebration tour on 10/14 as well, and well, I was thinking about 10/14's Pulp Fiction, yada yada yada, right? Tank Girl, this bloody tank. There's a ton of references to the Hoover Dam in this. There's a ton of references also to the Bullseye, okay, with, I don't have, actually it might show some pictures here, let's go through them. There's the tank, look at that tank. It kind of looks like the way it's drawn, as the way it's decorated. It does, and it's got the red star on the side. Oh, there's a dollar symbol. I've never really even looked at it before, but it kind of reminds me of the way they draw a lot of that stuff in Ipet Goat. Malcolm McDowell. Anyway, what I want to say, it's not in here. The symbol. I'm going to do another video on Tank Girl at some point if I get around to it. But she does have the. It's like the RAF ensign sign, the big target bullseye with the red eye in the middle. So there's this reference back to the red eye and the Who, because the Who also, the band the Who, used that as well. So there's this reference back with Tank Girl and that symbolism as well, which I'm going to say there's a little connection back in Ipet Go with 2001 with this particular scene. Let me just back this up a second, back to where we were at. Let me show you this dude again. I might just play a second of this. With this right here, okay? So the previous, where was that other? So the previous scene here, if you can see my little thumbnail thing, there was this reference to the AI, okay, the artificial intelligence with the red eyes there. That's HAL. At least this is what I think it is. I think it's a reference to HAL 9000 out of Space Odyssey. Okay, and where we're going and headed now with artificial intelligence, and so the AI, and remember AI is all to do with, well, if you just do the letters A and I are 19, okay, and 911 again is really a 9-1 reference to the end and the beginning of the Fibonacci cycle, okay, and that is really when, I'm going to say this, but I think really since 2000, I mean since 2001 is really when we've seen, you know, the kind of the AI thing start developing. I mean, I know it's only just really been fairly recently that's really, but we're on one of those curves, you know, like if you started AI right at 9/11, you know, as the technology just moves exponentially, you know, sort of thing. Anyway, this reference here, if you've seen Space Odyssey 2001 with the daisy, this is what Hal sings when Dave Bowman turns Hal off. He's singing Daisy, okay, Daisy, Daisy, you know, and he gets slower and slower and slower, okay, as Dave is essentially killing the AI. Hal is the AI, right? 9,000, the 9, okay. Anyway, we've done some stuff on connections with Madonna and Hal already, and 4/9, etc. But I just wanted to put that in there, that this daisy could be a reference to, and I think that's what it is. And when Dave does kill Hal, basically after he's done that, it's basically the Stargate sequence, I think, if I'm recalling correctly. So this is very interesting as well with that, and then, you know, this fireworks also could be referencing back to the Stargate sequence as well. Right, we're getting through it. I got some more number jumps here, and I'm trying to think, what the hell have I forgotten now? Oh, did I show you this actually? Hang on a minute. Where's Madonna's version of Ghost Town gone? Snatch. Madonna. What have we got up here? Stuff that I wanted to go through again. Oh, this is the next decode. Oh yeah, well, yeah, there's some other stuff there we need to go through as well. I don't know why I don't have Madonna's. Oh no, I did have it right here. Blimmin' hell, Dan, you are really losing it, mate. The length of that song, 4:09. Did I mention that already? I can't remember, but 4:09. Okay. Right. Okay. 4:09 mentioned. So we've done the 177. We've got another number jump in here. We've done the 16363, which is just crazy as well. And I'll show you why that's important again in a minute. What's this one? This was, I'll show you this as well. Now I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is a little connect. This is kind of a bit of a random connection, but this is so this connection with the specials being in Snatch to do with the diamond there, okay, the film, and having that song playing, and then we'll move on to it in just a second. But from their release of the song through to 9/11, because they reference that in their little music video, let's look at the day jump here. See why that's important. It's the 86 square. Now in Snatch, you'll notice that the diamond that gets swallowed up by the dog, or is snatched, is an 86-carat diamond, okay, by Frankie Four Fingers. Frankie Four Fingers, okay. Frank the Rabbit. Now, what else have I got in here? We've done that. Did we do? Oh, so yeah, I've got another thing to show you in the chart. So while we're on the subject of Snatch, just to finish off this, because this has the song in it by the Specials. This is the point at which that song starts playing. In fact, they have it in another point in the video, in the film as well, but this is where it starts playing. Oh, he's going to say a bad word. Let's see if we can just catch a little. Not too much. Oh dear, Dan, you've lost the plot here. Hang on a minute. I'll turn it up a bit as well. I don't know how loud this is. Oh, it's loud. You can just hear it coming in now. So they're playing that, right? And he's just done a nice little speech, okay? But they're in a pub, right? So we got to get to this. There's something interesting with this pub, right? There's several other little references. There's a reference back to Madonna with the name of the pub, but let's back it up so we can show him going into the pub. Oh dear, oh dear. This is painful, I know, but it's worth it just to see this. Right, here we are. So this is the pub that Vinny's just about to go in. Number 49. Okay, number 49. It's the Jolly Gardener, but it's not actually that called that in the film. Interesting with the fox there as well, but it's called, I want to say it's something Trout. I'm sure it's like the old Trout or something, or whatever Trout. I'm sure that's what it's called. But Loud and Trot, so it's kind of a play on words, I think, is from Who's That Girl? Okay, it's a character from Who's That Girl that Madonna's with. Okay, so again, the 4/9, we've talked about that before as well. Gosh, it's just repeating stuff from the back catalogue here, unfortunately, but there we go. Right, I've got one more number jump. This was the Donnie Darko. We were talking about the 28 days later from this date and this 312. I wanted to show you this as well. That ties back in to the 411. So I'm showing you the 411 in the chart of Lorraine. This is in the pi sequence. Okay. And if we go, so we're cross-referencing 3 and 12. Okay, gives us our 411. Okay, remember we can get that out of the fire trail as well. And this is that date that also references back to this 213, and it also references to the end in terms of a 10 cycle with Luger's numbers. It's the numerology of this stuff, and it also references back to the total up to this point as well. Okay, and on and on and on it goes. So that's interesting, and I think we're about at the end of this now. I'm trying to think what else I have forgotten. Yeah, the Specials. That definitely, I'm sure it definitely references, if you go watch the music video, it definitely references, for me, Space Odyssey 2001. Okay. I don't think I've missed anything else out. I should have deleted a few of them as well. But, you know, that connection back with the diamond again, the diamond being gobbled up, and that number jump there is crazy. And yes, Donnie Darko might be wearing that to reference the Specials. And then we might be seeing this done to reference all that stuff. Okay, maybe it could. It's also a million other bloody references, isn't it, as well? And actually, you can just about see these rib cage things coming up here as well, which kind of give you the idea of a tunnel without having a tunnel there. Okay, I think we'll leave it there. Okay, I don't think there was anything else I wanted to mention about the. I'll probably remember something here in a minute. I mean, yeah, you got the nuclear symbolism there on the cheek. What else? That's it. Got the side of the face. You'll notice that this heart is also referenced in several other little bits to do with the feminine as it goes through. You know, like that previous scene, and there's a heart with the little robot one, and there's also a heart on. Well, there's a heart on Jesus' chest as well, and also on the phallic symbolism with the old crony as well. Okay, so that's could be tying all those together as well. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, right? Enough. I got to get onto this next decode and get it out of my way because it's driving me nuts having all these tabs. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that one. Okay, onwards. See you later. Bye.